I already know that the sun is going to be an issue in this video. Apologies in advance. Hi guys, it's Tarnie and welcome back to my channel. We are in the hammock today, so you know what that means. It is a chatty sit down video. Recently I've had a few people reach out to me on Instagram asking a lot of questions surrounding enrollment, and in particular like the interview process. I just wanted to go through the enrollment process, what you have to do, what's expected of you, the Bksb test, or like the English and literacy, English and numeracy test, and interviews. Do you do them? What do you expect if you do them? Let's get straight into it. So when I was enrolling for my TAFE course, it was mid 2020, which as everyone would know, like even all around the world, was kind of like peak COVID. So I don't know if it's normally different. I can't imagine this part of the process would be too different if it was at all. Yeah, most of the process is online, so you start by like just expressing your interest. I just went onto the TAFE website, looked for the Diploma of Nursing, and I think there's a button on there that'll say like something like enroll in this course or express interest, or apply for this course. It was something like that. So click on that, and basically it's super simple. I'm pretty sure I just filled out details like my contact details and email, and that was pretty much it. There was then an orientation, which I thought meant I was accepted into the course. However, long story short, I wasn't. So the orientation was by Zoom. I'm not sure how they would normally do this part outside of COVID times, because there was such a, there was a backlog of students who were wanting to start the diploma. Sorry, I just lost some light. So yeah, there was probably about 100 students who were applying with what would normally be a 30 spot class. What happened was we had the orientation by Zoom. You can't see anyone. There was just about 100 people on the call. You just see the presenters. They run through the course and share the basic requirements that you will need to have before undertaking the course. So they explained things like how to provide evidence for sufficient English as well as maths. By the way, for these things, they said sufficient evidence would be, I'm pretty sure they said 5 school reports from various years, which I did provide them with, but I still ended up having to do the Bksb test, which was the English and numeracy test, which everyone in my class actually did. So I'm not too sure what happened there, because even people like myself who were born and raised in Australia had to prove their competency in those subjects. So yeah, the orientation, I think it went for about 45 minutes. They kind of just introduced the course and gave a brief overview of everything. So after the orientation, we had to start our application process. In our application, we had one sheet of paper that we had to fill out that was provided to us by the institution, so TAFE New South Wales. On it, it just had your, you just needed to fill in your details, and then there was, I think, 1, maybe 2 questions with about 3 lines to provide an answer. I think one of the questions was like, why do you want to do nursing? I'm not going to say whether filling in those 3 lines is or isn't enough to get you accepted, because at the end of the day, I have no idea how they narrow down their choices. For myself, I did put a fair bit of effort into my application, so I actually wrote up a Word document just sharing a little bit about myself, and in particular why I wanted to do nursing. I also asked a family friend if they could write me a reference letter, which they did, and I included that. Oh, and I also included a reference from my employer. I do not work in healthcare at all. I can't wait to work in healthcare, but I do not have any experience. So the reference letter was from my state manager. I just wanted someone from the workforce to give a recommendation for me because they see me at work, they know my work ethic. Yeah, I submitted all of those documents along with my application, which I don't know if it did or didn't help. I wouldn't say that that is necessary to do. I just think with the competitive nature of that particular intake, I was trying really hard to get in. I'll just do a quick run through of how it all happened for me. So I actually did find out a few weeks later that I was unsuccessful in actually getting into that class, which I was very disappointed about. However, they decided to do one last intake in the year, and that's the one I was accepted into. Although before I did get fully accepted, I did have to do what's called the Bksb test. I think this might be called something different in each state depending on where you're from, but it's just English and maths basically. The test was harder than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be ensuring that you can understand English and do basic maths. The thing with the Bksb test is it keeps getting harder and harder. I'm sure there's a point when you can't do any more questions and you've got them all right. However, I would say like no one who did it with me completed the whole test. So what happens is you do the questions. So I think it starts with like the English one. You work through the questions. You don't know if you're getting any of them right or wrong. So you just have to keep clicking next. And I think once you reach a certain number of incorrect answers, the test will stop. When the test stops, I think it'll give you, I can't remember the exact wording, but like I think you needed like I think it was a level 3 in maths and a level 4 in English, something like that. So I completed school in 2016, so I was out of school for over 4 years and had done I'd never revisited any English or maths that I'd done in school, and I was able to pass. I wouldn't say that I am extremely intelligent. I definitely wasn't in school, so I think I've come a long way now. However, you'll have to make your own decision whether or not you think you can successfully pass that test or not. I would 100% give it a go though. So yeah, following the completion of the Bksb test, I was notified that I was successful and was accepted into the next intake, and that was it. So I've had a lot of people ask me about like what I did in my interview. I didn't have an interview. That wasn't part of the process for us. Again, that might be because of COVID. Perhaps they don't do interviews anymore. However, let's say you do have to do an interview process. Act confident and no one will question you. Well, says me wearing my Sarah's Day attire. But I honestly do live by that saying. I am someone who is riddled with anxiety, in particular social anxiety. And most people can't tell because I just act really confident when I'm in new situations because I don't want people to pick up on the fact that I'm anxious. If you were being interviewed, I would be prepared for questions like, how do you handle pressure? Why do you want to be a nurse? And also they'll probably ask you to tell them a bit about yourself. So I think you just need to treat it like you're having a conversation with a friend. Yeah, I think the important thing is to not overthink that part of the process if you have to do that. But yeah, I go to TAFE New South Wales and there was absolutely no interview as part of my process. So basically that is the whole application process. As I said, like there's not a lot to it. I think it's just that COVID kind of complicated things in a way, but also simplified things in a way. If there is anything that you think I have missed or would like to know the answer to, please just leave a comment down below and I will endeavour to get back to you as soon as I have stopped studying. But yeah, as always, please give this video a thumbs up if you have enjoyed it and subscribe if you are new. I can't believe I'm almost at 500 subscribers. That's actually insane. Thank you so much for all of the support. But yeah, other than that, I will see you in my next video. Bye.